The rain had just stopped when he arrived, leaving the street rinsed and shining, as if scrubbed of yesterday's dust. Water clung to the leaves of the old neem tree outside the house, dripping slowly onto cracked pavement. The air smelled of wet earth and iron, familiar and unsettling. He stood at the gate for a moment longer than necessary, fingers resting on cold metal, breathing in a place he had not dared to return to for 5 years. Inside, the house breathed quietly. The curtains were thin now, sunlight passing through them without resistance. A kettle whistled softly in the kitchen, then fell silent. She moved slowly, her footsteps careful, as though the floor itself might complain if she hurried. When she opened the door, she did not look surprised. Only tired. She had changed. Her hair, once long and glossy, was cut just below her shoulders, streaked with early silver. Her face held fewer sharp angles, softened by time and endurance. She wore a faded cotton shawl, smelling faintly of soap and cardamom. Her eyes met his for a second, then drifted away, as if his face were too loud. He had not changed in the ways that mattered least. The tailored coat, the polished shoes, the quiet confidence of money earned and multiplied. Yet something in his posture leaned inward, like a man carrying weight he could no longer shift. They sat across from each other at the small wooden table. Between them rested 2 cups of tea, steam curling upward, untouched. The clock on the wall ticked loudly, filling the spaces where words refused to go. He had rehearsed speeches for boardrooms, apologies for journalists, statements for shareholders. None of them survived the sight of her hands thinner now, the knuckles faintly swollen, nails trimmed short. Hands that once rested easily on his chest, that once signed divorce papers without trembling. The years had not been kind to her. Life had pressed in close, demanding more than she had to give. After he left, silence had followed, not the peaceful kind, but the kind that settles in bones. She had stopped explaining herself long ago. To neighbors. To relatives. To the mirror. He cleared his throat, but no words came. Instead, he reached into his coat pocket and placed something gently on the table. A small, worn notebook. Her breath caught before she could stop it. The cover was creased, corners softened by use. She recognized it instantly. It had once lived in her kitchen drawer, pages filled with hurried handwriting, grocery lists tangled with dreams, numbers scribbled beside prayers. She had written in it during the hardest months of their marriage, when hope felt like a language spoken only by other people. He slid it closer to her. His hand shook. "I never read it," he said finally, voice low. "Not then. Not after." She looked at him now, really looked. The man who had left with promises of success and returned carrying regret like a second skin. "I found it when we sold the old apartment," he continued. "I meant to throw it away. But I couldn't." Her fingers hovered over the notebook, then touched it, reverent. The room seemed to hold its breath. "I kept it with me," he said. "Every city. Every hotel. When I thought I'd won something. I'd open it. And realize what I'd lost." The pages rustled as she opened it. There, between faded ink and smudged margins, were her words, fears she never voiced, sacrifices she never named. And tucked between 2 pages was something new. A folded letter. Her silence broke as she read. Not with sound, but with tears that slipped down her cheeks, unguarded. In the letter, he had written the apology he never dared speak. Not excuses. Not justifications. Only ownership. Only truth. He wrote of her strength, of the quiet ways she had carried them both, of the love he had mistaken for permanence instead of effort. "I didn't come to ask for forgiveness," he said, eyes wet. "Or to return. I came to return this. And to tell you, you were never invisible." She closed the notebook and held it to her chest. For years, she had believed her silence meant nothing. That her endurance went unnoticed. That love, once left behind, erased itself. Now, in this small room smelling of tea and rain, something loosened inside her. She spoke his name softly. The first word she had given him in 5 years. Outside, the neem leaves dripped their last drops. The street resumed its quiet rhythm. Some things could not be repaired. Some stories did not circle back. But sometimes, being seen at last was its own kind of healing. If this story touched your heart and moved you in any way, please like the video, comment, share it with someone who need a little hope today, and make sure you subscribe to Humanity Diaries. Your support help us continue emotional and meaningful stories to the world. Please comment below which part of story touched you the most.